Now, suspended Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane says she is disappointed with the decision to dismiss her rescission application. The Constitutional Court dismissed the application with costs earlier today. This, of course, as the inquiry into her fitness to hold office continues. That is a parliamentary process that is still underway. Now, Mkhwebane says she's being abused. This is, of course, in reference to the rescission process during Women's Month. Our reporter Ayesha Ismail joins us for more on this. So, Ayesha, we are talking today about her ongoing court challenge. This rescission process, it was actually a second attempt, am I right, at the Constitutional Court to say, are you sure you're going to say no to me? Am I understanding it correctly?
Well, we did speak to the Public Protector this afternoon, and I'm just going to give you the correct wording, because when we asked her whether this was indeed the second time, she said, and I quote her, "I would say it was actually a reconsideration of the rescission. Remember, the rescission was dismissed, so my legal team met and we requested them to reconsider it, and it is unfortunate that it was only a paragraph." And she also said that it's a pity that the court did not give reasons as to why they arrived at this decision. But let's listen to what the Public Protector had to say.
It's unfortunate that it's only a paragraph and we didn't get the reasons why they are dismissing it, because remember, such issues are meant to develop a jurisprudence. So it was going to be very helpful for even them, the Constitutional Court, to assist. And remember, we also had the issue of Abramje, who knew the outcome of the judgment before even we argued the matter. And it's so unfortunate that the Chief Justice just gave Judge Mpati that matter to deal with. And in other words, the judge just, actually a retired judge, just considered that matter and made findings. In other words, just reviewing the closing report of the Public Protector. And we know that any Public Protector report should be reviewed in court.
I mean, that's an interesting phrasing that she says that basically this would have been good for the court because it would have helped refine the law. But, you know, the court was quite strong. Her, as she puts it, attempt to get them to reconsider their rescission decision, they've described it as an abuse of court process, and they're saying she must pay the cost for this.
That is indeed so, and of course she was saying she's not the one who is abusing the court process. She says she was merely exercising her constitutional right. Instead, she said that the Constitutional Court judges were abusing the court process. This is what she had to say.
The biggest abuse of women, I mean, where would I get that money? Why mustn't I exercise my constitutional right? And what court process am I abusing in the process? I think they themselves are violating the Constitution as the Constitutional Court. I must say it's very much disappointing.
Okay, so I mean, I would imagine that the first rescission dismissal would have been the end of the road. Now she asked for this reconsideration and they said, no way. Is this really the end of the road now for her in terms of this court process?
It appears not. It may be the end of the road for her in South Africa, but she says that her matter is pending before the African court. So she's determined to have the final say.
Okay, so she's going to continue, but in a different court system. Ayesha, at the same time, of course, the impeachment inquiry, which is being held in Parliament, continues. Did it make any significant headway today?
Well, today we heard from another senior investigator, in fact, an executive manager in the Public Protector's office. And the interesting thing is that this is still somebody who's still working in the Public Protector's office. And it was interesting to see the Public Protector sitting here and hearing people, or rather this person, talk about, you know, the fact that the Public Protector was, you know, pushing people to get reports out. She wanted them, she set targets that were completely unrealistic, and also said that she felt intimidated by the Public Protector. But when we spoke to the Public Protector afterwards, she was saying that she's happy to be called a slave driver if it means that she has to hold people accountable.
All right, so that process, of course, continues in Parliament. It's been going on for a number of weeks now. Do we know how long it's still going to continue? Does it have an actual end point?
I think initially we were talking about a report being out in October, but the way things are going, Sally, I think it's going to take much longer than that. What we do know is that by Friday, Advocate Dali Mpofu will have to give the committee his list of witnesses. We don't know how long that witness list is. We know that so far the evidence leaders have heard evidence from at least a dozen witnesses. So it's going to be interesting to see how many witnesses Dali Mpofu is going to be called to speak in favour of the Public Protector, and whether in fact the Public Protector will be called to testify.
And we also know, of course, that Dali Mpofu wanted to bring the President into this inquiry. The President said he sees no need. The inquiry itself says we see no need. Does that have to go through a court process now if Dali Mpofu wants Cyril Ramaphosa to come before this committee?
I would imagine so, Sally, because what he did make very clear the other day was that he's not accepting the decision made by the committee, and said that he would do anything legally possible to get Cyril Ramaphosa to come and testify. Now, he did say, and the reason why I'm not saying President Cyril Ramaphosa is because he said he was calling Cyril Ramaphosa as a citizen of South Africa and not as the President of the Republic of South Africa.
All right, we'll have to see what develops on that ground as well. Thank you so much for that update on both those matters involving the Public Protector. That was our reporter in Cape Town, Ayesha Ismail.